Parts of Roanoke seeing that snowfall coating, as well as Blacksburg and Wytheville. Wytheville, actually an icicle right on that camera, as temperatures have fallen into the 20s and 30s. In Wytheville, 29, Blacksburg and Roanoke, 31, and 32 in Martinsville. So a little bit warmer in Southside zone. That's why we've seen more of that rainfall instead of the snowfall. Winter weather alerts are in place still and will continue until about Wednesday. You'll notice that these do expire on the 12th, all of these tomorrow at 4 p.m. So we do have a little while longer with these in effect, about 24 hours, rather, still seeing with this event in place. For the entirety of our viewing area in a winter storm warning, but higher elevations in parts of Nelson County for an ice storm warning, and that goes into effect in that it will expire by Thursday by 4 a.m. So still a lot of ice expected, and that's also in place for Howland County as well as Pocahontas. Those were just added to the ice storm warning. And this is why. We still have a lot of snowfall showing up on radar right now for the Highland zones, part of the NRV, as well as Roanoke zone, Lynchburg zone, seeing the mixing in Southside, just a cold rainfall right now. But most of us seeing a lot of pink showing up here, especially in the NRV, southern parts of Roanoke, as well as Lynchburg. This is where all of the mix is coming into play. Wintry mixture. It is gross, it is cold, and it is dangerous because this is when things get icy. When we have that freezing rain that freezes on contact with those power lines, with those tree limbs, that is when we are concerned about power outages, about trees down, with a lot of this ice. And we'll talk specifics about the amounts of ice that we may see as we head overnight tonight and even into your Wednesday. So still seeing those mixing conditions. We did have a dry slot, but that has since filled in with all that mixed precip in NRV. Parts of Roanoke a little bit drier right now as well. Now let's talk road temperatures, because you saw all of that pink showing up on radar. Anything that's falling currently is sticking, barring parts of Southside, Danville, seeing that 33-degree road temperature right now. However, we're still in the 20s, widespread, barring Alta Vista and Martinsville, for road temperatures. So again, this is when we are beginning to see those slick and those slushier snowy conditions we saw the snow falling earlier today. That is now freezing, frozen, will continue to fall and stick to the roadways. So again, road temperatures still 20s and 30s. Let's talk road conditions, because these are deteriorating very, very quickly, especially as that mixed precip, the wintry precip, moves in. All of this red and purple right here, all of that indicating where ice is on the roadways. The blues, of course, snowfall, and the greens, just wet roads at this time. NRV, a lot of NRV, still seeing very icy conditions, and especially on those back roads and even the main roads right now. VDOT is working very hard to clear those, but still, you can't plow ice. And that is the concern for the majority of not only the NRV, but Roanoke zone as well. And even into parts of Lynchburg, parts of Southside, the further north you go, and that kind of bleeds into the Lynchburg zone, really seeing those icy conditions. And further north, of course, I-64 corridor, a lot of snowfall in those regions. So still snow-covered roadways out and about. If you, the main message is, if you can stay off the roadways today, if you can stay home, please do so, because it is a mess outdoors right now. And we are not done yet, friends. Let's time this out on Futurecast. Just over the next couple of hours, we will still see a lot of these pinks and these blues, mostly pink, signifying that mixed precip on our Futurecast overnight tonight. And this lasts well through 8, 9 o'clock. You'll notice this pretty, I'm not sure really how, the word is escaping me right now. Very distinct, there we go. Very distinct barrier right here. It's a very distinct boundary in between, in parts of the NRV. We're going to zoom in here and take a look at this, because this right here, very distinct, even if it moves through the next couple of hours. We still see the mixed precip in the NRV as well as parts of Roanoke and Lynchburg, but even still, the rainfall for far southwest parts of Virginia. So that boundary right there, because of that temperature difference, we are still seeing. But again, you'll notice we stay in that mixed precip for the majority of the viewing area until midnight, until very, very early Wednesday morning. And then it finally moves out about 2 to 3 a.m. Wednesday. So we will see a dry part. We'll get a slight break Wednesday morning. So tomorrow morning, we dry out just for a bit. And I'm actually going to go in here and show you what we're looking at. We are going to have to adjust some things. Forgive me. I'm going to have to adjust just a few of these time settings so we can get a good look at this total accumulation, rather not necessarily the accumulation. Excuse me, I'm trying to think of the word. It's been a long day already. What we're watching for the total timeline of this. So we're going to go ahead and scrub this out a little bit further just to get a better look at this timeline. So once again, we were looking at Wednesday morning. So you'll notice this does end about 6 a.m. Wednesday. So waking up tomorrow morning, we are dry entirely, but let's scrub this forward a little bit more because I do want to show you this. By 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, around lunchtime on Wednesday, we start to see more precip. But it starts off as rainfall. You'll notice a little bit of that mixed precip that's starting to get in very, very patchy in that coverage. So this is 2 o'clock on Wednesday, and still, as we get into the later afternoon hours, starting to grow that area of mixed precip. But overall, a lot of rainfall for the rest of us. But still worth noting that we have the opportunity for more mixed precip Wednesday afternoon and evening. So that's still 6 o'clock. And we're not out of the woods. That we're still talking about that center of low pressure out there that's moved off of the coast, but we do have this secondary one right there, and that is that system going to bring more rainfall for Thursday. So back to back, and that's also why we do have those flooding concerns in place for Thursday because of the rainfall that will follow up this event. So again, of the frozen stuff today, tomorrow, and the rainfall on Thursday. So Futurecast again showing you that exact same thing that we will see that rainfall following everything up. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the ice potential. Yes, we have all loved the snow, beautiful, real-life snow globe, all of the things. However, the ice, that's what really gets you. It weighs down those power lines, those tree limbs, and it is no fun. This is the ice potential, and this is through midnight on Thursday. So even after we finish the event with the rainfall on Thursday, this is even after the fact the total accumulation for that ice. You'll notice for the majority of the viewing area, at least a tenth to a quarter of an inch. But for parts of the New River Valley and even moving on into the Roanoke zone right there, still even half to 3/4 of an inch of ice possible with this system. So keeping an eye on that, and even tonight, and we have already seen that changeover is when you really begin to see those icy conditions moving in, and especially overnight tonight. So the commute tomorrow morning, if you do need to head out the door, will be worse than what we experienced this morning. So still, we will finish this event even into Wednesday morning with that icy potential very, very early. And let's talk the amount in terms of accumulation. This is the total accumulation until about 6 o'clock on Wednesday. Most of the NRV, at least a quarter of an inch, at least a tenth to a quarter. However, you get into parts of the Roanoke Valley as well as parts of the NRV, half to 3/4 of an inch. But the further north you go, the less ice you see, the more snowfall you get. So snow totals are a little bit more, especially around that I-64 corridor, a little more, because not only will you see more snow further north with this track, but the ice will not be tamping down those snow totals quite as much. So that is what we're watching for this mess of an event for the next couple of days. Again, we do have that alert day in place both Tuesday and Wednesday, so today and tomorrow, because of this mess that will carry over into Wednesday. But Thursday, you'll notice, of course, we have rainfall in the morning, 30% chance of seeing just a few showers that will move through. We'll see a line of showers headed our way, actually, with that front. But behind it, we are dry for the majority of the day on Thursday for the afternoon and evening, and that carries over into Friday. We have another dry day before, you guessed it, another system this weekend, but it is going to be a rainfall event. You'll notice those temps very seasonable for this time of year. So that is it. We still have this wintry mess on our hands, at least for the next couple of hours. So again, the main message, stay off the roadways unless you have to go out, because this mess is going to continue, and it's already starting to get slick out there, especially as this turns a little bit icier. We will be keeping you updated with any of the latest forecast changes that we have, and especially those current conditions. But for now, that's all we got. Be sure and stay safe, stay warm, and enjoy playing out.